And there we go. Hello, I am Mattias, and I'm a technical designer at Dynasty Studios. Today I'm gonna show you how we set up items and loot drops in the game, and also set up an item for our Halloween event. So keep an eye out for that in the coming weeks. The first thing we need to do is to go to the correct folder where we want to add the new item. So here we go into Blueprints, Crafting, Resources, Harvesting, and let's make this into a tier 0 item. Here we create a new item definition. So we go into Miscellaneous, Data Asset, and here we make a new item definition, like so. And let's give this a name, so ID for item definition, res for resource, and then let's call this Halloween event, because that's what it's supposed to be. And again, it's supposed to be a tier 0 item, and it's a light resource as opposed to a heavy resource. And let's call it pumpkin. Now we have created this new item. Let's also make sure that we have spelled pumpkin correct. Whoops. And now when we open this and move it over to the other screen, here we can see the data asset. So here we select a new icon for the item, which has been created by our UI artist. Let's make sure that the item category is correct, which it looks like it is. And then we select the properties that we wanted to have. In this case, we wanted to have a name and a description. And we also want to make sure that we export it to builds. So let's select the correct export type. After that, we want to make sure that the item can drop in the world. So we need to add a droppable item component to the item. We also want the item to be stackable. So let's add that property to it. And let's set the stack number to be 20 for now. Finally, let's set up the droppable item component, which determines the mesh that is going to be dropped from the item when it's on the ground. Right now, let's set it to be a light drop item actor. Later, we're gonna have a new one that matches the icon, but that is currently being worked on by our 3D artists, which we would then have a separate actor for. Now let's set up the display name and description, which we need to do in a string table. So let's go to st resources and add those into the table. This is to make it easier to localize to different languages in the future. So let's start by adding a name. So let's add a key, item name, .l_t0, and pumpkin. Yeah, so let's just call this item pumpkin. And then let's add a description as well. So similarly to the name, let's add it in the same way, except it's a description. For this, let us say that whoever has the most pumpkins at the end of our Halloween event wins a prize. And now that we have created our string table entries, let's go back to the item definition and connect those up. For the display name, let's find the correct string table, and let's get the name of the item, like so, and the same for the description. There we go, and that's the item definition completed. Now we just need to add this to the correct loot table. So for this, let's add it to the night room, which is a plant. So let's go to loot harvestables and find the night room, and we can find it here. And as you can see, it currently drops a light fiber resource. So let's add a new resource that it's supposed to drop. Give it a spread. We're going to use the same as the current one, so low velocity spread. And then let's add our new item. So let's search for pumpkin, and there it is. Let's say that it's going to drop 1 to 5 resources maybe. And we want it to be somewhat rare. So let's lower that to 40%. So what this means is that 40% of the time it's gonna drop, and when it drops, it's gonna select a number between 1 and 5, and that's how many it's gonna drop. So now we can test this in the game. So let's go back to our level and spawn into the test level. And now that we've spawned in, and let's just wait a second for the assets to load in, let's try and harvest some of these nitrooms. And 40% of the time, we should expect to receive the new resource. And there we go. We've dropped a pumpkin. Let's just make sure that it can also drop, as expected, 1 to 5. So let's harvest a couple of more just in case. And there we go. This one dropped 4 pumpkins. And yeah, that's how we set up items. So hopefully you'll found this interesting, and we will see you in our community events. Goodbye and happy Halloween.